Behind the polished image of the British monarchy, beyond the grand ceremonies held at Buckingham Palace, there exists a quieter world, a world of private conversations, unspoken expectations, and decisions that are rarely revealed to the public. Recently, royal observers have begun discussing a moment subtle, unconfirmed, but deeply intriguing. A moment that may have involved Catherine, Princess of Wales. A moment that, according to speculation, may have left her visibly emotional. At the center of this discussion is one of the most senior figures in the royal family, Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, a man who has spent nearly a lifetime witnessing the inner workings of the monarchy, a man whose words are rarely public but often meaningful, and according to some commentators, a man who may have expressed a strong view about the future of certain royal crown jewels. If such a moment truly occurred, it would not simply be about jewelry, it would be about symbolism, about legacy, and about the future of the monarchy itself. Catherine and the burden of the future. From the very beginning of her royal journey, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has carried a unique and extraordinary weight. When she married Prince William, she did not simply join a family. She stepped into a centuries-old institution, an institution where every role is defined not only by duty, but by history. From her earliest public appearances, Catherine understood that she would be compared to those who came before her, especially to Princess Diana, whose global influence and emotional connection with the public had left a lasting legacy. Yet, Catherine approached her role differently. She did not attempt to replicate the past. Instead, she focused on building her own path, quietly, carefully, and with intention. She invested her time in long-term initiatives. She listened more than she spoke, and she gradually earned the respect of both the public and royal insiders. But with that respect came something else: expectation. Because Catherine is not only a senior royal, she is the future queen. And that reality brings with it a level of responsibility that few people in the world will ever experience. The Duke of Kent, a living link to royal history. Few individuals embody the continuity of the monarchy quite like Prince Edward, Duke of Kent. Born in 1935, his life has spanned nearly a century of royal transformation. His father was the younger brother of King George VI, placing Edward at the very heart of the royal lineage. After the early loss of his father during World War II, Edward inherited the title of Duke of Kent at just 6 years old. From that moment, his life became closely tied to royal duty. Over the decades, he served in the military, represented Britain abroad, and supported countless organizations. But perhaps more importantly, he witnessed the evolution of the monarchy firsthand. He saw how Queen Elizabeth II navigated decades of global change. He observed how tradition was preserved even as the world modernized. And through it all, he remained a quiet but steady presence. Because of this, his perspective carries a unique weight, not because he seeks influence, but because he has seen what works and what endures. The crown jewels, more than treasures. To truly understand the significance of the reported moment, we must look at the objects at the center of the discussion: the legendary crown jewels of the United Kingdom. These treasures are housed within the ancient walls of the Tower of London. They include crowns worn during coronations, scepters symbolizing royal authority, and orbs representing sovereignty. But beyond these official items lies another layer of royal heritage: private collections of jewelry passed down through generations. These pieces are not locked away. They are worn, displayed, and integrated into royal life. Each time a tiara appears at a state banquet or diplomatic event, it tells a story of who wore it before, and what it represents. Catherine and the language of symbolism. Over time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has become fluent in what might be called the language of royal symbolism. Every detail of her public appearance is carefully considered. The colors she wears, the events she attends, and perhaps most significantly, the jewelry she chooses. One of the most iconic examples remains her sapphire engagement ring. Originally worn by Princess Diana, the ring carries emotional and historical significance. When Catherine wears it, she is not simply wearing a piece of jewelry, she is carrying forward a legacy. And this ability to connect past and present has become one of her defining strengths. It is one of the reasons many see her as the perfect bridge between tradition and modernity, the moment that sparked speculation. According to royal commentators, a quiet but meaningful conversation may have taken place involving Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, a conversation not intended for the public, not meant to create headlines, but one that may have touched on the future of royal heirlooms. Some believe that during this discussion, the Duke may have expressed a preference, or at least a perspective, on how certain jewels should be preserved and passed down. Not as a criticism, not as a challenge, but as a reflection of tradition, because for those who have spent decades within the monarchy, preserving its heritage is a deeply held responsibility. Why Catherine's reaction matters. If such a moment occurred, it may have carried emotional weight for Catherine, Princess of Wales. Not because of conflict, but because of what it represents. A glimpse into the future. A reminder of the role she is preparing to inherit. Becoming queen is not simply about wearing a crown. It is about embodying an institution. It is about representing continuity in a world that is constantly changing. And moments that highlight that responsibility can feel overwhelming, even for someone as composed and experienced as Catherine. Camilla's present role in the monarchy. While much attention often turns toward the future of the monarchy, the present chapter is still being written by Queen Camilla. Her position today is the result of a journey that unfolded over decades, one that was closely watched, often debated, and sometimes misunderstood. As the wife of King Charles III, Camilla now carries responsibilities that go far beyond ceremonial appearances. Her role includes supporting the king in both public duties and private engagements, representing the monarchy at official events, and continuing her work with a wide range of charitable organizations. Over the years, she has focused particularly on causes that are often underrepresented: literacy programs, domestic violence awareness, and support for vulnerable communities. Those who have worked closely with her often describe her approach as practical and quietly determined. She does not seek the spotlight in the same way some public figures do. Instead, she operates steadily, focusing on long-term contributions rather than short-term attention. Her presence at major state occasions, particularly those held at historic venues like Westminster Abbey, reinforces her role within the monarchy's current structure. When she appears wearing historic royal jewelry, it is not simply a matter of tradition. It is a continuation of the responsibilities associated with her position. Yet at the same time, her role exists within a larger narrative, a narrative that includes both the present and the future. Because while Camilla represents the monarchy as it stands today, attention is already beginning to shift toward what comes next. The silent shift of generations. One of the most fascinating aspects of the British monarchy is that change rarely arrives suddenly. There are no abrupt transitions, no dramatic handovers. Instead, change happens gradually, almost quietly. Royal observers often describe this process as a silent shift, a gradual movement in which the next generation begins to step forward, not through official announcements, but through subtle changes in visibility and responsibility. This shift can be seen in the increasing prominence of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Their public roles have expanded, their appearances have become more frequent, and their influence within the royal narrative has grown steadily. This is not by accident. It reflects a carefully managed transition, one designed to ensure continuity within the monarchy. While King Charles III leads the institution in the present, the groundwork for the future is already being laid. Moments that may seem small, such as who represents the monarchy at certain events, or who wears particular historic jewels, can carry deeper meaning. They signal the direction in which the institution is moving, and they prepare the public for what lies ahead. The human side of royal life. From the outside, royal life often appears distant and perfectly controlled. Every appearance is planned. Every statement is carefully worded. Every detail is managed. But beneath that polished image lies a very human reality. Members of the royal family are not only symbols, they are individuals, people who experience pressure, expectation, and emotion. For Catherine, Princess of Wales, this reality is particularly significant. She is expected to maintain composure in every public moment, to represent stability, to embody the dignity of the monarchy. And yet, behind that composure, there are moments of reflection, moments where the weight of responsibility becomes clear, moments where the future, no longer distant, feels very real. If speculation about an emotional reaction is to be understood in any way, it is not as a sign of weakness, but as a reflection of that responsibility. Because stepping into the role of a future queen is not simply about status. It is about carrying forward an institution that has existed for centuries. The future written in quiet moments. In the end, the story of the monarchy is not defined only by its grandest events, not just by coronations, weddings, or public celebrations. It is also shaped by quieter moments, private conversations, Unspoken understandings. Decisions made behind closed doors. Figures like Prince Edward, Duke of Kent represent the past, a link to decades of royal history. Figures like Queen Camilla represent the present, the current face of the monarchy alongside the king. And figures like Catherine, Princess of Wales, represent the future, a future that is already beginning to take shape. As the monarchy continues under King Charles III, these different generations remain connected, not only through bloodlines, but through tradition, responsibility, and shared purpose. And as history has shown time and time again, the monarchy evolves not through sudden change, but through a series of quiet, meaningful moments. Moments that may go unnoticed at the time, but ultimately shape the future of the institution.